My entrepreneur journey has been a doozy to say the least. The great philosopher Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., otherwise known as Lil Wayne, once said, "I've been through it all, the fails, the falls. I'm like Niagara, but I got just back up like Viagra. And man, have I been through some pitfalls, some painful pitfalls, but I'm thankful for them because without them, I wouldn't have been able to make over 7 figures online in my business with just one digital product doing a little over 900K. And I'm gonna share with you the 5 strategies that I use to make my first million. Look, these 5 strategies, they're not about doing more. They're actually about doing less and making more while getting your time back. And it's only gonna take me about 5 minutes to break down these 5 things. So if you don't have 5 minutes to spare, then you'll probably just be a victim of hustle and grind culture and be one of those, "Oh, I'm on my grind, gotta go get it, bro." And I'm not about that at all. I'm about making peaceful, passionate, purposeful profits. Plus, if you haven't realized by now, hard work don't pay. I mean, just look around at all the hard workers. They're typically on the bottom of the totem pole. But look, the first thing that you got to do is that you have to create scale. And when you create scale, you're actually removing your time away from the amount of income that you make. So if you really want to maximize the amount of revenue that you can make, if you really want to make life-changing revenue, you have to remove your time from the amount of income that you make, because there's always going to be a ceiling and you are always going to be capped if your time is associated with your income. Plus, that's why people get burnt out, right? Because there's only so much that they themselves can actually do. And majority of people, in their mind, the only way that they can make more income is by spending more of their time working towards that income, and they get burnt out because your body, it maxes out, your brain maxes out. There's only so much that you can do in an individual day. To whereas when you create scale, it has no ceilings, or in the words of the great philosopher Blue Ivy Carter, "I never seen a ceiling in my whole life. Boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka." I don't know if you've heard that song or not. But my entry into the entrepreneurial world back when I found my job in 2016, I was in a small niche in real estate called wholesaling. And basically what I would do all day, every day, nonstop, is that I would be making phone calls. I would be making cold calls to property owners that had some type of distress and seeing if they had any interest in selling their home. I'm making hundreds of phone calls per day. And then if I got any interest from anybody, then I'm going out on appointments all day, right? There's only so many phone calls that I could make each day, and there's only so many appointments that I could go out on each day, to whereas my income was always going to have a ceiling. It's always going to be capped no matter how many deals that I negotiated. After that, I got involved into social media marketing and digital marketing and this whole online world, right? And I started to have clients, and I started to do one-on-one consulting and one-on-one coaching and whatnot. Guess what? My income was always going to be capped because there's that ceiling, because there's only so much time that I can put into doing one-on-one calls. There's only so much time that I can put into doing one-on-one consultations and whatnot. So I knew that I had to create scale for myself, because that just eliminates all that stuff, because I knew that I could make more money in less time by actually working less. So the first thing in creating scale is content, and everybody's out here trying to figure out ways that they can make money online in their business outside of making content. Listen to me. There's no way around it. So stop trying to avoid it. And that thing, no matter what it is, that thing that you're constantly trying to avoid, on the other side of that, that's where all of your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations lie. So just think to yourself, what is that thing that you are constantly trying to avoid? I promise you, if you just do it, you will accomplish everything that you want to. All the success lies on the other side of that stuff that we avoid. But content drives sales in any aspect of business. So what I mean by this is, any email that you get, guess what? That's content. Any ad that you see, guess what? That's content. Anything that you're seeing on social media and YouTube and whatnot, of course, that's content as well. Any content that anybody creates, it drives traffic to their business. Even a movie, even a cartoon, even an anime. I'm a big anime fan. I have on a Dragon Ball Z hoodie right now. Guess what? Dragon Ball Z drives traffic to their business, to whereas they can sell merchandise like this, they can sell video games, they can sell shows, they can sell movies. right? The content drives traffic to the business. So in order to create scale, you have to create content because content drives traffic to your business. But you don't want to be a content creator because majority of people out here attempting to make content, they're doing it the wrong way. They're just making some silly, goofy stuff, crossing their fingers and hoping that they can go viral to get some views. No, you want to be a contentpreneur. You want to be an entrepreneur that uses content to drive traffic to their business. Now, if I could start over again from day one, I would just make YouTube videos. This platform that you're on right now is by far the best source of traffic. It's better than Instagram, it's better than TikTok, it's better than Threads, it's better than Twitter or X or whatever Elon Musk is calling it. It's better than paid advertising. Why is that? Because YouTube is not social media. Like, technically some people might say like, oh yeah, it's social media. No, I don't consider YouTube social media because YouTube, it is more findable. It has a discovery method to it. When you just think about social media, if you're just scrolling your phone and you're on Instagram or you're on TikTok or you're on X, right? You're not choosing to watch anything. Stuff is just being thrown in front of your face. But YouTube allows you to become more discoverable because it is a more discovery platform. Why is that? Because of the search bar. Think about it. You use the search bar on YouTube far more than anything else because YouTube is a search engine overall. Because Google is the #1 search engine on the planet. And guess what Google owns? Google owns YouTube, which is the #2 search engine on the planet. It's the second biggest search engine on the planet. And outside of that, even on your home screen, you get to select and you get to choose what it is that you want to watch. Whereas on social media, stuff is just getting thrown in your face. Pause. And YouTube is a evergreen platform. So what I mean by evergreen platform is that something that you post today will be being seen for weeks, months, and years to come. Whereas what I consider social media, like an Instagram, like a TikTok, like a Twitter or whatnot, right? Stuff is pretty much for the moment. So at the time of me recording this video, the #1 viewed video that I get on a day-to-day basis is something that I posted almost a year ago. That's what I mean by evergreen. And the more content that you create on a platform like YouTube, it's going to have a compounding effect. It's going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger over time. That's what she said. And secondly, with your content, you want to create a digital product and package that digital product or package a solution to somebody else's problem to your actual content. Remember, you're thinking entrepreneur first. You're not thinking content creator. You're thinking contentpreneur. You're going to use content to drive traffic to your business. And when you're thinking entrepreneur first, when you're thinking business first, and when you're thinking of being a contentpreneur, you don't have to have the biggest audience. You only have to have the right audience. You don't have to get the most views. You have to get the right views, which leads into #2. You got to know your numbers. Look, anything in business, anything in entrepreneurship, pretty much anything in life for the most part, it's simply just a numbers game. And people, they wonder why they can't get any traction. People wonder why they can't get any growth in either business or content or whatever it is. And they have no clue about their own numbers. So you need to know your numbers and you need to track KPIs. Now, KPIs stand for key performance indicators. So you need to be tracking numbers like your traffic, and from that traffic, what percentage of that traffic turns into leads. Matter of fact, let me give you a visual representation. Let me grab my whiteboard. Right, so if I'm using YouTube as an example, and a KPI for YouTube that I may be tracking is from my traffic, right? Because this whole game of online business entrepreneurship is simply just getting traffic to a product and converting a percentage of that traffic. That's the simple breakdown of anything in business, actually. But if I'm using YouTube as an example, right, I need to measure my traffic, but how can I measure or how can I know how much traffic that I'm actually going to get on a platform like YouTube? And I'm using YouTube as an example, but this example can be used for anything that you want to do outside of YouTube. But the equity on YouTube starts off with CTR. If you're not familiar what CTR stands for, that's the click-through rate. So from how many impressions that you get, and an impression is just the eyeball. An impression is not a view. An impression is an eyeball. So whenever you're on YouTube and you see all those thumbnails, that counts as an impression because YouTube knows that you have seen it. But out of those impressions, what percentage of those people whose eyeballs are on your content click it. That's a click-through rate, right? For somebody like me, I like to shoot for between the 5 to 10% click-through rate. Now, this is something that I had to track from day one in my entrepreneurial journey back when I was in that small niche in real estate. My traffic back then was phone calls and sending out direct mail and stuff, right? So I would have to track my actual numbers on the eyeballs that my mailers were getting or on the people that I actually spoke to over the phone. But in anything in business, you have to track your numbers. And when you're building an online business, it's very easy to track your numbers, right? But from this traffic, I will have to measure my click-through rate and, most importantly, my AVD. AVD stands for average viewer duration, right? Because the equity on YouTube is how many people click a video. And from those people that watch the video, not just did they watch it, but how long did they watch the video? That's what YouTube cares about. And that's what all of these social media platforms care about, period. You got to think about how these platforms make their money. All that they want to do is present content that somebody wants to watch. They want to put that in their face and keep them on there for as long as possible. So I want to track what is my average view duration, right? And then from there, I want to know what percentage of these people turn into leads, right? But then a byproduct of having a nice click-through rate and average view duration and getting some leads, YouTube's just going to give me more views. That's just going to lead into more traffic. But this is just an example of some KPIs that I might track in the business that I'm building right now. But then there's other key performance indicators that I might have to track. So say that these leads, right? Say we're getting these leads. Okay, well, what percentage of these leads actually buy and turn into customers? This is something that I need to track. Out of those customers, what percentage of people actually get results? Because the more results that I can get to people, they turn into evangelists. Now, I know evangelist may sound like a religious term, but when I say evangelist, I'm basically just saying an ambassador. And even if we're using a religious scripture like the Bible or something, what is an evangelist? It's just somebody that got a transformation or a result, and then they go out and they spread the word or they spread the gospel, right? So I like to use it in the business sense of talking about ambassadors. That's that word of mouth stuff, which is going to simply just lead me to more leads also. But then outside of stuff like this, you have to track stuff like, your revenue, stuff like your profit, stuff like lifetime value of somebody, stuff like your churn. These are all things that you would just have to track in business. And the number one thing that I see people struggling with, and they're just like wondering, and they have no clue on why they can't have any growth in their business, why they can't build any audience, why they can't have any success. And a lot of times the root of it comes down to they don't track any of their numbers. And when you know your numbers, it allows you to be on offense instead of always playing on defense and just reacting to stuff all the time. It lets you attack stuff because you're confident, because you know that it's simply just a math problem that you have, and you know the moves to actually make because you know your numbers. So you know that you can focus on your inputs to get your desired outputs. Whereas most people, they're just crossing their fingers and have a dream one day of getting their desired result, which is an output, but they don't have any numbers to use in making their decisions for their actual inputs. And that's why people just run around like a chicken with their head cut off and stay running around in circles and never get anywhere. And a lot of this stuff is basic math. It's not rocket science, because I know there's people out there like my former self that's like, oh, I'm not good at math. I'm not a mathematician. Stop putting those limited beliefs on yourself, because it's something that I used to do. I used to say like, oh, I'm bad at math. And I would tell myself that I'm bad at math. Therefore, I believed that I was bad at math. And the reason why I thought that I was bad at math is because I can't answer a simple math question. Like if you were to ask me a simple elementary addition, subtraction, multiplication, division question, I can't give you the answer right off the top of my head. It'll take me some time. You'll see me really think and process, and I might even count with my fingers. But I realized that I actually am good at math. Because yeah, I might have to use a calculator, but I know where to actually put the numbers in the calculator to make things happen in real life. Majority of people can't do that. So yeah, you can add and subtract and multiply and divide really, really fast in your head, but you don't know how to do this. And I know how to do this. So I'm like, I actually am good at math. So just hand me my calculator. Let me whip out the old phone, open up the calculator app, and let me put my numbers in the right spots to whereas I can make the money that I know that I'm gonna make, instead of just knowing math to sound smart to a bunch of dumb people, for real. Now, the third thing that I did is this. The third thing that I did was that I stopped networking. Look, networking is a waste of time. And all those people that you hear say this, your network is your net worth. Stop listening to that crap because it is so stupid. Your network is not your net worth. Your net worth is your net worth. Plus, here's the thing about all this net worth stuff. Net worth, it's irrelevant. It's useless. It's something that people say to try to sound smart to mostly dumb people. Like, you can't do anything with your net worth. All people do is just walk around feeling all important and like they're somebody and say, oh, I have this much net worth. Oh, I have a $3 million net worth. I have a $10 million net worth. Oh, I have a $1 billion net worth. But you can't do anything with your net worth. But that's a topic for a whole nother day or a whole nother video or something. But networking is a waste of time. Once I stopped networking, I actually started to get some traction in my business, because a lot of people, typically beginner entrepreneurs, they think that they need to network, or they think that they need to meet all of these people in order for them to become a better entrepreneur, when it's totally backwards. You need to become a better entrepreneur, and then you will start to meet people. Because a lot of beginner entrepreneurs, or a lot of entrepreneurs early on in their entrepreneurial journey, when you network, you're not going to feel that confident in certain rooms, because you're going to be thinking to yourself, well, I haven't really done anything, or I haven't really done much. So guess what you're going to gravitate to? You're going to gravitate to a whole bunch of other people that haven't done anything or haven't done much. And now you'll leave that networking event, you'll leave that conference, you'll leave that seminar thinking that, oh man, I look at all these contacts that I got. Oh, I got these people's phone numbers. Oh, we exchange social medias. Oh, I got their business cards. Like, oh man, they did some good job networking. But you've built a network of people that have no clue what they're doing. So that networking was really a waste of time. So what you want to do is totally just focus on yourself and building your business. And then as you start to become a person of value, people will gravitate to you for the value that you actually have. And that is how you actually build a valuable network, because people that are actually doing something will see that you have something to offer, and then they will come to you because they want to build with you. I currently have a valuable network of people. It happened because I became a person of value. I did not go out trying to build relationships with people. I built myself up to a certain point, and people came to me to build with me. Even on something like my YouTube channel, as an example, I don't have the biggest YouTube channel yet, but there's not a day that goes by, I'm not exaggerating, there's literally not a day that goes by where people aren't emailing me and messaging me about how they can work with me. Can I be your editor? Can I do your thumbnails? Can I do your email marketing? There's brand partnerships that are in my inbox every single day. Can we pay you to do this? Can we pay you to do that? Can we pay you to do this? It's people in other business professions that are interested in what it is that I'm doing. They're reaching out to me. It's been that way since I stopped networking, and I really stopped networking like back in 2018-ish. 2017, 2018 or whatnot. So all that time, energy, effort, money that you spend on networking, spend that on yourself and becoming a person of value, and then you will see the people that come to you. And even just think about it. If you haven't done anything, why would somebody want to build with you? These people, they're strangers. They don't know who you are. And then you're just asking somebody that does not know who you are if you can take time out of their day just to extract information from them and take away that time that they would use to be making money. And typically people, they be wanting to network for free. They're not even like saying that they will pay these people for that. It doesn't work like that. Just imagine if you're just walking down the sidewalk and some stranger runs up to you and says, hey, can we be friends? Can I just call you whenever I want to and just ask you stuff? You're gonna be like, who is this weirdo? Right? So any time, energy, effort, or money you want to spend on networking. Just put that into yourself and become a person of value, which leads to number 4 is that you got to invest. But when I say invest, I'm not saying that you need to invest in real estate or stocks or crypto or whatever it is, whatever long-term investment vehicle. You need to invest into yourself, right? And investing is a long-term wealth strategy. And a lot of people, they're never going to be successful because they're trying to invest first to become wealthy first, instead of getting the money and getting rich first, and then dumping your overflow of cash into some wealth, into some investments. That's how you really win at the investing game. Any successful investor, typically, they didn't get there by investing. They got there from being successful at something, having high income skills, and then having an overflow of cash, and then they dump that cash into the investments. So something like real estate, for example, and it took me a while to figure this out. People, they don't get rich from real estate. People, they get rich and then they need somewhere to dump their cash, and they dump their cash into the real estate. But the real estate isn't the way that they got there. So the number one investment that you need to make is into yourself, and you need to invest in acquiring high income skills until you have high income, and don't even think about investing into anything else until you get to that point. And even the greatest investor of our time, Warren Buffett, I was sitting and I was listening to a Warren Buffett interview, and he was saying that he was talking to a bunch of college students and grad students and business school students and whatnot. And he said that he told them that if they simply just invest into becoming better communicators, they will increase their earning value by a bare minimum of 50%. He said if they just invest their time, energy, money, resources in becoming a better communicator. And actually, that's the number one thing that I invest my time, resources, capital in, is becoming a better communicator. Because all that business is, all that entrepreneurship is coming up with a solution to somebody else's problem and then effectively communicating to that person that you have the solution for them. That's all that it is. So I know if I can isolate a problem in the marketplace, use my imagination to come up with a solution, take this stuff from my brain, and then communicate to them that I have that solution, I know that I'll be able to be paid forever. And in that same interview I was watching of Warren Buffett, he said himself, the greatest investor of our time, right? He said that the number one thing that people should invest in is themselves first. So you need to be investing into your mindset, because mindset is more important than skill set, your personal development, acquiring skills, acquiring high income skills, and developing those income skills as you acquire them, and nothing else. And number 5 is that you have to create systems for yourself. And system is an acronym, SYSTEM. System stands for saving yourself time, energy, and money. So the way that we make more by working less is that we create systems for ourselves. So these systems work for us 24/7, 365, and we get our time back, like all them that you see on the screen right now. So if you're ready to make more working less online from stuff that you already know, go ahead and click the link down in the description and join this credit at the top community. For weekly coaching from myself, all my exclusive trainings, plus a private community and entrepreneurs, all designed to grow your business online. It's only $47 a month to join right now. That's less than a cup of coffee per day. So click the link down in the description and tap in, and I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. But look, once you create systems for yourself, and that's why I love online business so much, because you can create a system, you can do the work once, implement it into that system, and then that system works for you nonstop 24/7, 365. You don't have to do so much work because you have a system for yourself working, or what I like to call a flywheel. So if you're not familiar with the flywheel, it may take a little bit of time to get the flywheel moving. But once you got it moving, the momentum of it, it just allows it to move bigger and bigger and faster, and it compounds over time and gets bigger, and you'll make more money just from your flywheel or just from your system working. You won't really have to put any work into it because you've already done it to give it its initial momentum. So go ahead and click the link down in the description if you want to tap into the community, and I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. And go ahead and check out this video for a system where you can create 3 tiny digital products where you'll make a bare minimum of $100,000. It's crowded at the top.